He moved to Washington from California in 2005. He's the author of 2 books, including The Guide to Stress Reduction. In 1978, he founded the Stress Education Center, where he maintained his private practice in biofeedback until he moved to Washington. Married for 28 years and father of 2 sons, he recently moved to Bellingham from Oak Harbor, where he joined Toastmasters last fall. So please welcome up John Mason.
So much, Sean.
How many minutes?
Oh, sorry. 6 to 8 minutes?
6 to 8 minutes. That'll be fine. You know, I love Toastmasters, and for those of you who are guests, or you're thinking about doing this, or you're new in this, Toastmasters is a wonderful organization. I've been doing speaking and training for many years, and yet I thought that participating in a Toastmasters group as I started last fall was something that was really going to be beneficial to me so that I could convey my message, so I could speak more clearly, so I could get my message out and maybe help people. I'll tell you why in a minute. But equanimity, I didn't put that word up there today, but because I've been involved with stress management for a very long time, I want you to know that that's not good for business. People pay me when they don't have equanimity. I used it twice. It's important for you people who don't know that. When you use the word, you get extra bonus points for that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I heard that I was going to be able to do this speech really this morning, so I didn't prepare a formal thing. I wanted to do an icebreaker to introduce myself to this new club. I'm going to do a chronological thing because that's very easy. I was born at a very early age. And I learned almost immediately that I was an only child, except for my sister. And I was born in New York, raised in Los Angeles, escaped Los Angeles at 19, and had a great life for 30, 35 years in Sonoma County in Northern California. I want to go back just a little bit. When I was 7 years old, I don't know if this has ever happened to you. Has anybody ever said to you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Did anybody ever ask you that question? At 7 years old, it's kind of a weird question, and you don't expect people to take it seriously or know how to answer that at this point. But at 7 years old, I thought about it, and I said, and I was really interested in your presentation, I said, I either want to be a doctor or I want to be a comedian. And they said, well, what's that about? And I had thought this through, at least I thought I had thought it through. A doctor, for a 7-year-old, takes people's pain away. A comedian helps them to forget about their pain. And in the world that I've walked for the last 35 years professionally, there's a marriage of that. I get to help people manage their stress, their anxiety, to minimize their pain, but I get to do it in an entertaining way. I'm blessed, and that's another part of this whole presentation. I have been blessed because I have found my passion and been able to work on it, to create a business, to create a job, to really invest in it, to find people and relationships that have helped keep me on my path. Recently, I found a very new passion. I'll talk about that in just a minute. So when I was at my BA work, I was at Sonoma State. It was a humanistic psychology program. I was introduced to psychophysiology and biofeedback. Psychophysiology is how the mind and emotion affects the physiology. And I didn't think about it much at the time. When I finished my MA work, I went out and did all those jobs that you don't want to do. I did counseling. I did, community counseling. I worked in jails. I did all kinds of things. And I found out what I did not want to do. When I was 27, I woke up one morning and I said, I would have a passion for doing stress management, biofeedback, and hypnosis with people who are medically referred. And I got to do that. Along the way, I got into a PhD program, and I wanted to write a cookbook on how to do stress management and relaxation techniques, something that the layperson could really just read as if it was a recipe, and they could find and adopt recipes that would work for them. So I got an opportunity to write that down, and that became my first book, Guide to Stress Reduction. Again, I think I was really blessed to follow that pathway. I met this really great woman, my wife Barbara. We got to work together. She was a nurse, and we got to do many things professionally together. Again, I'm lucky my life really came together that way. We were married for 28 years, knew each other for 35. We moved up to the state of Washington in 2005, and we had bought a house there in 2002 because my wife wanted to retire, and she wanted to live near her good sister. I'm not going to get into that in this presentation, but between the time we bought the house and we moved, my wife was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She was given 5 years. It was a terminal diagnosis, and we moved in 2005 after having spent an extra year and a half in California getting treatment for her. She managed to survive her disease, and I participated as best I could as a caregiver for 8.5 years. Now, I would like to give more speeches about what that was like. To be honest with you, I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but I learned a great deal, and I learned that caregiving and taking care of my partner, my life partner, was something that I just did, and I accepted my role, and we worked together as a team. It wasn't my passion to do that, but my passion was, if you will, to help to take care of her, and that was a great experience. But it took me a year after she passed to realize how traumatic that was. And now as I move into the new areas of my life, one of the reasons I'm new to Bellingham, I've been here about a month, but I've discovered a new passion. It's been 3.5 years since my wife passed. I didn't know what my place in the world was. I knew that I wanted to continue to be of service. I don't believe in retirement. I don't believe sitting on the sidelines is what I'm supposed to be doing. But I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know where to do it. I traveled a lot in those first couple of years, looking for a new place that I had fit, a new place that I had felt connected with, a new community of people that I could work with. I was just about ready to give up on Washington in March of this year, and I was going to go back to California. And I met a woman. I was doing a business networking thing called LinkedIn, and we met because we were going to network and maybe do some things together. And at the end of the 1 hour of visiting with her over coffee, I said, I really like what you're doing and I like your energy, but I'm almost out of here. I'm going to go back to California. When I get back from California, I'll give you a call. We'll see what happens. I said, there's really nothing for me up here, so I'm probably going to take off. I said, I really need a relationship. I really want to wake up every day with a person who I love and who I support. And out of the blue, she said, well, that's what I want. We changed from a business relationship to something else. And she is involved in spiritual development and consciousness development. And I decided to come out of the closet because from private practice in all those years, I learned a great deal. And when you do quiet your mind and find equanimity, sometimes it can lead you to a place where you can grow and accept and handle things that used to bother you and irritate you in a different way. It gives you a different way of living your life. I thought it was a really good marriage of things for me to begin to participate in. I'm excited to be here. What I want to speak about in the future is more about the way I want to go about doing that, helping people raise consciousness, find the passion in their life, probably most importantly, honor their spirit. And I don't want to do it in the ways that it's been traditionally done in churches or philosophies or with gurus or things like that. I think we can all tell our story. We are all masters of our lives. And if we're willing to share that, we can learn from other people. And they will learn and be the pilgrims along the way that take your hand, and we can all walk the path of consciousness together. I'm going to be speaking more about that in the future. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me to introduce myself, and I really look forward to to the future talks. And for all of your guests that are here, I really encourage you to participate for whatever your need is to learn how to communicate your passions even better. Thank you.